on this edition of In the Life.
Now!
The places, the faces, the stories.
I'm a Mormon.
I'm a homosexual.
And the history of public television's first lesbian and gay series. In the Life, America's information line on gay and lesbian issues and culture. In the Life is funded in part by the H. Van Ameringen Foundation. Additional support provided by Peggy and Richard Danziger, Agnes Gund and Daniel Shapiro, the Guild Foundation, the Michael Palm Foundation, Terry Watanabe, and the Nebraska AIDS Project. The Advocate, the National Gay and Lesbian News Magazine since 1967, and In the Life members nationwide.
June 1992, before a live audience and with Kate Clinton as our host.
Two's around on Kate. Two on Kate.
There we were, the pilot episode of In the Life, the first series bringing the issues and culture of gay and lesbian life to television. Tonight, a look back at 5 years of In the Life. Welcome to the 5th anniversary celebration of In the Life, and a look back at how we got here. Hi, I'm Catherine Linton. When In the Life debuted 5 years ago, the idea that gays and lesbians should have a regular slot on national television was new. This was, remember, 5 years before Ellen. But it didn't take long before our series on national public television came under attack during the PBS funding wars of the early 90s. In a sense, we have Bob Dole to thank for letting America know we were out there.
It seems that the broadcasting apologists are hiding behind Big Bird, Mr. Rogers, and Masterpiece Theater, laying down their quality smokescreen while they shovel out funding for gay and lesbian variety shows.
His attack on In the Life from the floor of the U.S. Senate made headlines before we even aired. Dole referred to In the Life as the Gay Ed Sullivan Show, and in a way, he was right. The pilot episode was a variety show, a format we stayed with for the first season. Well, sort of, as you're about to see for yourself. We begin tonight's retrospective at the beginning.
In the
In the Life television aired its first episode in June of 1992. It began as a half hour of quality entertainment and celebrity performance for gay men and lesbians.
Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, gosh, not another show on gays and lesbians on television. No girl.
Years from now, somewhere down the line, we'll remember and we'll all sing. I'm tired of the system. I'm gonna tell the people.
But luckily, we've thought of everything, and we are closed captioned for the homosexually challenged. Isn't that wonderful?
Every time I feel the spirit moving in my heart, I will pray.
Already, you have seen more gay men and lesbian on television, on network television, than you have seen ever.
That pilot episode could never have happened without the help of an army of volunteers.
I changed tires, too.
Cut. We tried to do a lot, and we did a lot. I was struck by the number of people who thought the PBS was their constitutional right. And when their local channel wouldn't put on In the Life, they organized, and they got together in ways that they never would have before. Thank you very much.
Kate Clinton went on to host 2 more episodes as In the Life's first full season began.
Mr. Sandman,
What?
won't you believe
Boom, 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 boom.
we want a Superman like Christopher Reeve?
They said, you can't be gay. I said, I am. They said, it's a phase. I said, I don't think so. They said, well, even if you were gay, which you are not, we don't care, we really don't care. And I said, well, I do.
Someone who will make us scream. Oh! Sandman, bring us, please, please bring us, Sandman.
As I said, a lot of Vito's letters were very funny, and he might write me something as outrageous and wonderful as, you know, at the rally today, Grace Jones bared her tits to 1,000 lesbians and sang, "I need a man," and all hell broke loose.
Now you can kiss those embarrassing moments goodbye forever with new Gaydar.
Though advertising is not allowed on public television, we once speculated on what commercials might look like for a gay television series.
Get Gaydar now. Only $49.95, not available to right-wing senators or television evangelists. New Gaydar.
Hi, I'm Garrett Glazer in Hollywood.
In the third episode, host Garrett Glazer took In the Life from Broadway to Hollywood, and for the first time, we left New York to go on location.
The picture for lesbians and gay men in the movies is getting brighter.
From Hollywood, In the Life went country as we continued to push the envelope on the variety show format. Comedian Karen Williams was at the helm.
Do you have any straight people in your band?
I have 2 straight people in the band, but we're not going to out them.
Oh, I see.
Learning about life from Mother Nature.
Let me introduce the members of the band to you.
Okay, and maybe I'll just guess.
Okay.
Doing what comes naturally. Out in the country.
Laugh at the monologue, okay? Thank you.
Learning about life from Mother Nature. Doing what comes naturally.
By mid-season, a viewer would be hard-pressed to describe In the Life, as we went from Hollywood to Nashville to, well, we're not sure. But our 5th show has become an In the Life classic, as writer-actor Charles Busch, in his many guises, took a look at the state of gay and lesbian film.
That's right.
You know how much your happiness means to me.
What a thrill it is to be here. What a thrill it is having you with us. I'm such an enormous fan. I even love the horror movies you made in the 60s.
Well, I don't think I'd call them horror films. They were psychological suspense dramas.
You know, Miss Dale, this is a show devoted to gay and lesbian culture.
Oh, really? You mean this isn't American movie classics?
Comedian Leah Delaria kicked off our 2nd season for a rollicking episode.
I mean, let's face it, when I put on a dress, I look like a man in a dress.
Now, gay pride has been expanding. We have it all over the country.
And Karen Williams returned for a show devoted to gay and lesbian youth that we called Schools Out.
So are you out to your parents? What are your relationships like with your parents?
It's a bit edgy, as with any parent.
Schools Out inspired us to move to an issues-oriented program, and we decided to settle on the current news magazine format. A new team of 6 correspondents reported from behind a desk.
Welcome to another episode of In the Life.
One of the new faces was mine. That's co-anchor Greg Watt and me, with the heavy lipstick and pearls.
And identity to a national audience. That's when the Hawaiian Supreme Court.
We even sent correspondent Chris Montgomery to a virtual Hawaii. Notice how well her hairspray holds in the wind.
Gender discrimination.
We also attempted television's first gay weather report.
Long-term forecasts for the New York area look good in June. Leave those umbrellas at home. It ain't gonna rain on our parade.
Most consistent in that series of studio-based programs are what we fondly remember as the leather couch interviews, all of which took place on our best piece of studio furniture.
Now pass! Press, girl!
During that 2nd season, we had the great pleasure of talking to, among others, Melissa Etheridge, Tony Kushner, Paul Rudnick, and Michelle Indeghiocello.
Don't negate my experiences just because they may not fit in your form.
In the Life's growth over the past 5 years in some ways mirrors the growth and visibility of the gay and lesbian movement. Coming up, a look at the major events of recent gay history as In the Life turns back the clock.
My favorite memory was we had a wonderful Lavender Light Gospel Choir, I think was on the first show, and they were on late.
Well, I've got a dinner date at 10, so we've got to be finished, don't we?
There was two couples who got together, they had a ceremony, they broke up, a divorce, before they were actually on. That's how long they waited. Please welcome the Lavender Light Gospel Choir performing Every Time I Feel the Spirit. So it's like the visibility and the more real we look, you know, that's what it's all about. Actually, and here's a tip for you at home, never come out to your father in a moving vehicle. Happy anniversary in the life. 5 years, you're still here. Way to go, Mazel Tov.
One of our early shows was an in-the-field report on the historic 1993 March on Washington. Part of In the Life's mission has always been to document the major events that affect the gay and lesbian movement. More now from Tanya Barfield, who joined our reporting team during our 4th season.
From political conventions to cultural celebrations, In the Life's cameras have been there to record history as it happens. Millions of people have been lucky enough to personally participate in these significant events, and millions more have turned to In the Life as we mark the milestones in the struggle for gay and lesbian civil rights. Our great events began in Washington in 1993 with Garrett Glazer and Karen Williams.
It started with a banner that read like a headline. It was a wonderful time. Celebrities and parties, singing and dancing, communion and reunion. But the heart and mind of the 1993 March on Washington was on something serious and far-reaching, gay and lesbian civil rights. From ACT UP's call to anger over AIDS funding and education, to the politicians who spoke at the rally on the Mall, the 1993 March on Washington for lesbian, gay, and bi equal rights and liberation was a very loud knock on the door of Washington's power elite.
In 1995, lesbians from around the world were knocking on a different door, that of the United Nations during the 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing, China. Was in Beijing covering topics you probably didn't read about in the Sunday paper, namely lesbian organizing, and the most unlikely structure in China, the lesbian tent.
I was really curious, you know, about this lesbianism. In India, we don't know much about lesbianism. Here I learned that it's something natural, no? Lesbianism is it's a way of life and something natural with some people.
The communal spirit of the small lesbian tent in Beijing was hard to find in the big tent of the 1996 Republican Convention in San Diego. Gay conservatives celebrated being on the inside, while progressives protested Republican policies from the outside.
Good afternoon. My name is Rich Taffel, and I'm the Executive Director of the Log Cabin Republicans.
What I say to you is the Trojan horse is at the gates.
We're here. We're in the tent.
Does the RNC hear us? Probably not. But will we be discouraged? No way!
And in another part of San Diego, In the Life traveled to a different tent altogether, a luncheon at SeaWorld, where an exclusive gathering of right-to-life activists celebrated their own party politics.
Are we all feeling tolerant and inclusive here?
What they did feel like was a song and a dance. Two years before that waltz and the Republican National Convention, there was an event in New York City where there were no tents and everyone was welcome. Stonewall 25 was the largest gathering of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people and their friends in the history of our movement. It was, in fact, an anniversary celebration of a shot fired from the Stonewall Bar in 1969. And a special episode on this event ended our third season.
It's a historical moment in our time where people have stood up against the injustice in society towards gays and lesbians and bisexuals. And so it gives me a chance to be here with my partner and to hold him and give him a kiss. That's what it means to me.
Stonewall 25 included, of course, a rally.
Today, the world is watching, and our message to the world from our community is that this is not business as usual.
No one's rights are safe until everyone has equal rights.
But also a cultural festival.
We are a community. We are a society. We are everyone. We are inside you. Remember all you were taught to forget. We are part of the new world.
And he'll have fun, 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 for he's absolutely certain. Fun, 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 cause he's always out there flirting. Fun, 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 now that everyone is certain that he's gay.
In addition to Stonewall 25, there was Gay Games 4.
Gay Games, did you play anything this week or watch anything?
I did not have my event.
And?
It was channel surfing.
I was taking pictures of riders warming up and getting in the up to the start-finish line, and I turned around and I noticed that all these guys were lounging around in each other's arms and being patted, and it was such a good feeling because it was so relaxed and it felt so real that I said, hey, wait a minute, I'm not taking any more pictures of the race. I'm going to take photos of you guys. And so I said, you don't get to see, I've never seen this at a bike race before. It's really a great feeling.
But Stonewall 25 was more than just a celebration of life and love. It was also a commemoration to those we had lost to AIDS. As of 1994, over 300,000 people in the United States alone had died from that disease.
I'm a volunteer, and we came from Atlanta to carry a sign for this man whose name is Bob. I don't know him, but I'm very honored to be a volunteer to do this today.
I see all my brothers and sisters here, you know, and remembering all the people who have died of this incredible disease, you know.
Hello, this is Ricky. This is Maz's student at the Kashi Ashram, and he died just a while ago.
This is Dennis Riley. He was 40 years old, and I was a volunteer with him through the Buddy program, and I helped him through his last year of life.
My name is Ed Ditterline, and this is John Perkins. We were lovers for 18 years. He died 3 days ago, and I'm really very sad.
At the end of this incredible event of tears and celebration, there was indeed lots of love.
Everybody say love. Everybody say love.
And of course, Liza.
I promise you we will win. If not tomorrow, then the day after that. Or 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 the day.
Besides having our cameras at the important gay and lesbian events of recent history, In the Life has also worked to explore gay and lesbian participation in all of history. In December of 1995, host Catherine Linton visited the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C.
The pink triangle is recognized throughout the world as a symbol of lesbian and gay liberation, displayed with pride on t-shirts, tattoos, posters, pins, bumper stickers, you name it. But the triangle didn't always proclaim our pride. Just over 50 years ago, it could be found in only one place, on a strip of cloth next to a number, identifying a prisoner as homosexual in the Nazi concentration camps of World War II. The history of the pink triangle is explored here in Washington at the Holocaust Museum, the world's largest testimonial to the millions of lives destroyed by bigotry and hatred. In the 1920s and 30s, the gay movement in Germany was the world's most advanced. Led by Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld, gay and lesbian culture in metropolitan areas like Berlin included bars, publishing houses, and gay journals. But in 1933, all this changed when Adolf Hitler became the German chancellor.
In the early days of the Nazi regime, that gay bars were closed, gay publisher houses and journals were forbidden, and it became very dangerous for gay men.
We asked Klaus Müller why gay men were viewed as such a danger to the Third Reich.
Basically, you have to do with a highly gender-biased society in which one of the major goals is to produce a strong Aryan race. Homosexual men were seen as uncertain candidates and as a threat to this major Nazi goal. Lesbian women were not targeted to the same degree. It's not logical, but lesbian women were seen as still future breeders of the Aryan race. They could give birth to children, and it didn't matter how they would feel about that.
While the Nazis were in power, approximately 100,000 gay men were arrested, and about half of them were sentenced to prison. 10 to 15,000 were sent to concentration camps, where they were marked with a pink triangle.
The death percentage of gay men in concentration camps were relatively high if you compare to other smaller groups that were incarcerated, like political prisoners or Jehovah's Witnesses. Then the death percentage of homosexuals was higher, it was 60%.
David Mixner is one of the founding members of the Holocaust Museum's Gay and Lesbian campaign.
I visited the museum and I was very moved and was able to have lunch the next day with the director of the museum. That led to the project of them being the first museum in the world to officially include the gay and lesbian community as part of the museum, to study our history, to set up a center for scholarship for the study of what happened to homosexuals in the Holocaust. It's a historical breakthrough. No other museum in the world has ever done this.
We were very moved that they were going to do this project, whether we raised a nickel for it or not. They were dedicated to fighting homophobia along with anti-Semitism and racism.
More school children, more people, more visitors to Washington, D.C. go through this museum than any other museum. I think it's important that these people do see the histories of gay men who were incarcerated along with the other victims of the Holocaust.
One of these gay men is Stefan K.
I was arrested only for this reason, that I loved a man.
Stefan K. was only 17 years old when he began a relationship with an Austrian soldier. For this, he was imprisoned for 5 years.
They wanted to know whether I had more soldiers, not only one. But I was very ashamed, young. I didn't knew even the meaning of this word homosexual, because our love was love, only love. The treatment was not good. It was not good thing. They was not tolerant. They treated us, homosexual, as something wrong.
But many gay prisoners were subjected to even worse horrors. Some were victims of hormonal experiments. Others, like Friedrich Paul von Grossheim, a local merchant from Lübeck, Germany, was arrested, tortured, and forcibly castrated by the Nazi state. For many gays and lesbians today, the Nazi persecution of homosexuals holds an added resonance.
You know, I've lost over 250 friends to AIDS and my partner of 12 years. And I've gone to great lengths personally to remember their faces and their names. And I was over in Amsterdam and I met 2 survivors of the Holocaust. who not only was able to get out of the camps when the Allies liberated them, but were rearrested by the Allies and put back in prison because they had deemed that the Nazis had justifiably arrested the gays and lesbians. And it was one of the most horrifying stories I've ever heard in my life.
We have to know what exactly happened, how worse it has been, and otherwise we can't learn if we can prevent it. At this moment there's a strong discussion going on about the radical right in the States using propaganda that resembles National Socialist propaganda. So we have to find out if this is true, where are the similarities, where are the differences, to analyze in which situation we are living. And we can't do that if we only live in the present.
Sometimes then even when I wake, when I remember this bad time and so many, I smile, everything's okay, but the memories, they are too bad, they're too sad, you will never forget it so quick.
Persecution of homosexuals is unfortunately not just a piece of the distant past. In many parts of the world, extreme oppression still exists today. During our 4th season, and in our continuing effort to look at gay and lesbian life from around the globe, we told the story of Ciprian Cucu, a young man from Romania who endured years of persecution and heartbreak after his homosexuality became known. Ciprian's story was brought to our attention by Eaglehurk, the International Gay and Lesbian Human Rights Commission, one of the many vital gay and lesbian organizations that In the Life works to bring to our viewers' attention. At the age of 17, Ciprian and his first lover were turned into the police by Ciprian's own family.
After an argument with my family, I admitted that Marianne and I were lovers. To prove it, I showed them my diary. They blamed Marianne for the relationship. As a result, my sister then went to the police and lodged a complaint.
Ciprian and his lover were arrested. Marianne admitted everything, but when Ciprian denied the allegations, the police showed him his diary, which had been brought to them by his own sister. Marianne and Ciprian were both incarcerated.
Marianne and I were separated. I was taken to the preventive arrest ward for juveniles. Before I came in the cell, officers told the supervising inmate that a homosexual was going to be put in the room. As a result, he told me from the very start that I had to have sex with him if I did not want things to go very badly. At first I resisted, but after a few blows, I was forced to give in. It was the first time I was raped, but not the last.
Am fost forțat să cad de acord. Aceasta a fost prima, dar și nu ultima dată când am fost violat. În luna februarie, anchetatorul nostru din St. Nicolaul Mare,
In February, our investigator published an article in the Temesvara Police Weekly, in which our case was described in detail, including photographs of us with full presumption of our guilt. The article was picked up by a national newspaper and came to the attention of representatives of the International Gay and Lesbian Human Rights Commission in Romania. As a result, in May 1993, Marianne was finally released, awaiting trial. After my release, I was expelled from the last year of high school under the pretext that I had missed too many days of school. In fact, teachers declared my homosexuality a danger to the other students. Marianne tried to find a job, but no business would hire him. When he finally found employment, he had to give it up because of harassment from his colleagues who knew about his case. We tried to continue our relationship, but it eventually ended because of the pressure we encountered from people who knew our story. In May of this year, Marianne committed suicide. He killed himself because he could not bear the pressure of isolation and fear. I had lived with the hope that one day we would stand together again. I loved him tremendously and could not believe I had lost him, but destiny took away this ultimate hope.
Dar destinul mi-a smuls în final și această ultimă speranță.
If there was any hope to be found at the end of that story, it's this. In May of 1996, Ciprian was granted asylum here in the United States.
Hi, I'm Wesley Snipes.
Hi, I'm Catherine Linton.
This is Petula Clark.
No, wait a minute. I'm Kate Clinton.
Pete Seeger.
David Marshall Grant. Quentin Chris.
Jason Alexander.
We're Betty.
And you're watching.
You're watching.
You are watching In the Life.
In the Life.
In the Life.
Now, I think that's fabulous.
Even though In the Life moved away from the original variety show format, we never lost our commitment to profiling artists and entertainers who helped shape and define gay and lesbian culture. More now from Darius Tahaz, a Broadway performer himself, who has been an In the Life correspondent since 1994.
The joy of a spirit, once restrained, taking flight and making leaps. That was how a recent Vanity Fair article described the legacy of the late gay artist Keith Haring. And this sculpture, Three Dancers, on display this summer in New York, celebrates that spirit. Music, art, dance, drama, comedy. In any area, artists have made great contributions to the gay community and to the mainstream by challenging stereotypes, celebrating difference, and confronting the devastation of AIDS. Gay and lesbian artists, in striving to see their own lives reflected in the arts, have undeniably affected American culture through their work. Here is just a sampling of some of the many talented individuals who have appeared on In the Life during our first 5 years.
Sappho, 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 Sappho. Sappho, Sappho, Sappho. I have identified myself as half Cuban and half lesbian many times, and of course people are always, really surprised sometimes, when I come out there in the low-cut dress and the bouffant. They go, wow, she doesn't look Cuban.
To fruits, to no absolutes.
Much of gay art challenges stereotypes. Just by being public, we educate the world about ourselves. This strategy, of course, is also used to approach the enormity of AIDS.
I am a street drummer, drag queen, kind of happy-go-lucky thing that is HIV positive and dying, actually has AIDS and is dying and would rather live with it than die with it.
I think that AIDS has taught us something now, that there's something to be said for, yes, we are erotic animals, we are, but we're also capable of great, great loyalty and depth of feeling. Don't sit and dream, something that we gay people do a lot. We close the door and we dream about palaces. Make your palaces there. Behave as if you will be here.
Sammy was Ethel to my Lucy.
In its 5 years, In the Life has chronicled an increasing number of openly gay performers. Some very well-known actors have come out and put their fame to use for political ends. In 1991, Sir Ian McKellen was the first openly gay man to be knighted.
What a wonderful opportunity to use the knighthood, the stamp of the establishment's authority, against the establishment, and say, I am a gay man, you've given me a knighthood, why do you persist in having laws which discriminate against me?
And often the arts are about building community. In 1996, In the Life traveled to Tampa, Florida, where nearly 200 gay and lesbian choruses gathered for a festival.
The one thing that's been wonderful is we've gone on tour with Portland Lesbian Choir and the Portland Gay Men's Chorus around to the small towns in Oregon during the Measure 9 and the Measure 13, and been able to sing in small communities, and I think that's really important.
The particular experiences of being openly gay have been a rich source of material for many artists.
Future Howell. I am a one-breasted, menopausal, Jewish, bisexual, lesbian mom, and I am the topic of our times.
I have no objections to being called a gay playwright. I would prefer to be perceived by the world as a gay man who writes plays because my plays are for all people.
Sick of straight people. Tell the truth, aren't you? There's too goddamn many of them. I was in the bank yesterday, they were everywhere.
Being gay may have also encouraged writers to question other identities.
As a writer, I try and ask questions. I don't try and have answers to anything when I'm writing. I try and just put balls up in the air and see what comes down, you know.
In his play, Robert O'Hara puts a gay man in the middle of Nat Turner's slave rebellion.
I had never heard gay and slave at the same time, you know, and so I wanted to see what would happen if I did that.
For me, playwriting is, to a certain extent, coming up with a large number of seemingly disconnected and unrelated events, people, facts.
I'm a Mormon.
I'm a homosexual.
Oh, in my church, we don't believe in homosexuals.
In my church, we don't believe in Mormons.
And then the process of writing the play is, to a certain degree, trying to discover the hidden subterranean connections between things. But In the Life also looked at the institution of the theater itself to ask why, in the midst of a growing number of plays on gay life, lesbians are so rare.
Resources, and it always comes down to money, are still fairly unavailable to lesbian plays.
Tony Kushner is a gay man. He has different access to the mainstream than a lesbian would.
At the same time, many lesbians prefer the freedoms alternative venues provide.
My goal is not mainstream theater. My aesthetic thrives under real-life conditions, not what you have to do in order to lose your power in order to become mainstream.
In similar ways, artists of color have had to struggle with exclusion.
And I really did not like being an Asian person when I was a teenager, when I was aspiring to be a younger actor. I really thought that not being a white person just kept me from getting everything that I wanted. And then it was really when I was in this play, Butterfly on Broadway, that I understood the beauty and the power and the wonderfulness of being an artist of color.
There's so much crappy, sort of racist, sexist, homophobic conditioning that is there without people even knowing it. It's a war. It's a war doing culture in America in which you're not trying to affirm a European aesthetic is war. That's it.
You must excuse me for being so rude.
Fighting that war in their own way, drag performers have primarily occupied the margins, but with their increasing popularity, In the Life hosted a roundtable discussion with some of New York's best-loved queens.
Well, drag is liberating, and when I put on my drag, I can be this over-the-top person.
Well, I do think we serve a certain function, though, in a rather drab world, that I think one of the reasons drag is so big now is I think the public enjoys seeing a bigger-than-life lady, and I think that the real women are not encouraged to be bigger-than-life, that seemed they felt to be so grotesque, or, I mean, people want to play Norma Desmond, but they don't want to be Norma Desmond.
Right.
I think I've done more shows for In the Life than Lucille Ball has done in her entire career. And I played Kay Shelby, who's a very serious journalist, or thinks she's a serious journalist. And I think that was kind of my favorite one, because that actually was one of the few characters I really totally created just for In the Life. Didn't you feel just a little bit guilty pretending to be something you're not? What I find remarkable and important about In the Life is that it's the only time that you see gay and lesbian characters having their lives being told by gay and lesbian journalists. This is Kay Shelby. This is Mary Dale for In the Life. God bless. Happy 5th anniversary, In the Life.
At the start of this season, our 5th, we introduced a regular feature called A Day in the Life, which gave us the opportunity to follow one person from morning till night. The next segment, shot in Savannah, Georgia, aired this past February and featured a transgender entertainer whose own life is her richest source of material. Now, the Lady Chablis, a man who lives as a woman, is about to play herself in the movie version of the book that made her famous. When John Barron's book, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, first hit the stands in 1994, the true story about the eccentrics of beautiful Savannah quickly became a runaway bestseller. Now, one of the most colorful characters in this narrative is the Lady Chablis. And for the lady, or the empress, or the doll, being ordinary is out of the question, and her desire to be fabulous is a priority, even if she sometimes flies in the face of the conservative South. We bring you now a day in the life of the Lady Chablis.
Come here, Totsy. You making Mama late for her appointment at the wig store. Wig shopping time. I'm a female impersonator, and it's not to make fun or to pick and poke at the females. Let's go. It's my salute to women. The little flip thing going on, that's nice. They got a big assortment in here. What I'm gonna do, like, oh, I do like that one. David, would you bring that one over? You know, women got the power, baby. My being in touch with my feminine and my masculine side, I know that the feminine side is where the power is. Very white girl hair. Valley girl. I think I almost look good on anything. Let's try on something ugly and see if I look good in it. Perfect, yes, perfect. Perfect, we'll take this one. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, no, 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 no. I guess I'll take that back. I guess I don't look good in every wig. Passing, to me, is being able to get out in public without people staring and pointing.
Hi, lady. How are you?
Hi, baby. How you doing?
Oh, you're looking marvelous.
Thank you. Got a table ready for me?
I got a table.
You're looking great. The Lady Chablis is my name. That's my legal name. So I think I'm one of the few people with the first name The. And if you're from the South, you can call me The. But the Lady Chablis is my real name. The doll is sort of my fantasy character. It's my fun thing. When I'm dressed up for my shows to entertain, then I'm the doll. People would comment on the way that I looked as a female, and I liked that. It made me comfortable on the inside. And the one thing that I believe in with any human being is that if your soul and your spirit says it's the right thing, then it's the right thing.
The right thing for the Lady Chablis was to do a book about her life story. It's appropriately titled, Hiding My Candy.
Here we go again. For the book signing, thank you, hon. I was approached by Pocket Books. It was an opportunity for my story to be told, not only on my behalf, but on behalf of people like myself. Here's a picture of me before I became a woman. And the caption under this picture reads, even at 3, I had a nice set of legs. And this is my Negro Scarlett O'Hara look for the New South. My first choice was going to be of me standing in the middle of a cotton field with a bunch of white folks dressed up as slaves. and I'm in a beaded gown going, the New South. But we thought this one would be more appropriate than that. These are great. John Barrett and the Lady Chablis. And John is so happy. Could it be because his head is resting against my breast?
In the South and in Savannah, people regard other people's lives as works of art. Chablis is quintessentially Southern in this respect. She's made up her own life. She's the star of her own movie. She's very Southern. She is very Savannah.
She has also become very famous, and international visibility poses a new challenge.
Sometimes I have to go incognito, which is my term for incognito. Ladies and gentlemen, your hostess, a genuine person, the mother of 10 children, plus 1, me, the lady of 6,000 songs, Miss Emma Kelly. Emma is a very big part of my life. She and I just went on a tour together. And when I tell you it was like mother and daughter, it really was. We had a wonderful time.
Pardon my southern accent.
Okay,
Did I hear you draw? Or were you sighing or replying? I love y'all. And y'all.
I lip sync because that's the part of the entertainment part, but my monologues are what people like the best about me. I see a lot of heterosexuals out there. Did y'all get lost? Did you get lost, baby? I mean, you know when you paid your money to get in to see the show, you know you paid your homosexual dues and now you're one of us. My act is semi-X-rated. It is not for anybody who's into Disney movies. You like chocolate? You like chocolate with nuts? Yeah? Yeah? You are just a cute little thing. What's your name? And I never know what I'm going to say until I get out there, and I feed off the crowd's response. Every time I look out there, I see somebody who's got a look on their face like, yes, girl, it's me. I'm for real. Yeah. I'm not a fictional character, honey. I am for real. I've always been very fortunate. You know, I have to admit, I'm one of the luckiest people on earth. I'm the luckiest, as they say, drag queen. I'm the luckiest female impersonator, and I'm definitely the luckiest lady.
Somebody home.
I hope Catherine is watching this because she'll remember.
What'd you say?
Was it Gay Games, I think, in New York, and we were in the old Stonewall Inn, the original, what had been the Stonewall, and it was so hot and so humid, and I'm thinking, I flew 3,000 miles to look horrendous.
I'm dripping on my ear.
Are they staying out? I can't think of anything more profound than the change that lesbian and gay visibility has brought to the country, and In the Life is a big part of that.
I'm Garrett Glazer.
And I'm Catherine Linton.
Happy birthday, In the Life, and thanks for everything you've done.
In the Life has had the opportunity to see firsthand how many different kinds of people are working in so many ways to fight prejudice and foster understanding. Some of the people we've had the honor to meet are no longer with us. Here now, a tribute to the heroes, role models, and pioneers we've interviewed who have since passed away.
Yes, I'll take my chances on this windy sea, never knowing which way the wind is blowing. But someday it's bound to sail me free.
I lived what I thought was a normal life.
I've come to many harbors and people waiting there for me, and together we would laugh away the darkest nights so easily. Yes, I will take my...
You make choices and you decide not to mess up other people's lives, and those are the choices I made now, so to live as openly as a gay Ismaili Muslim.
Yes, I'll take my chances.
But just remember this. I'm still the real queen in the studio today.
All the broken hearts, all the foolish parts.
Oh, 'tis love, 'tis love. Let the world go round.
I've had my share of laughter.
Always struggling. Ding, ding, ding with the trolley.
My share of tears.
Get back in the closet. Submit. Be quiet. That's what we're being told.
Yes, I will take my... Oh, yes.
By the mere act of saying I'm a gay man, I suddenly had several million new friends around the world.
I will take my chances, my chances, my chances.
As you've seen throughout this program, our role for the past 5 years and for the future is to allow real people to tell their own stories on a regular basis. Here now, in our final look back, we bring you a few more of the people who have had an impact on us, and we hope on you.
Follow your heart's desire. Light up the sky on fire.
The Lakota holy man, Reindeer, Tahta Ushte, mentioned that the Creator never made anyone different without giving them something extra special. And we have those very, very special things that we offer to everyone around us.
When I wrote the song, I meant to both call on the works of Audre Lorde and Pat Parker, and also just, you know, it's a coming out song of sorts.
Where will you be when they come?
Spelman is struggling with diversity, just like many other campuses are around the country. And I think the assumption here is that since we're all black women, we're all going to be the same. And that's not true. So we've had to deal with homophobia on all levels.
Like racism, homophobia is not always pinpointable. You can't always tell when it's happening or who it's coming from. You just know that there's something wrong.
Every time someone said to me, I just don't get what you are, you know, well, maybe people don't have a right to beat you up or fire you or not hire you in the first place, but it's just not natural. Every time I sputtered, this was what I wanted to be saying, is that every single culture on this planet, every society, every continent, including the North Pole, has always had a range of gender expressions, but we haven't always been reviled and hunted and hated.
To me, the civil rights movement, the feminist movement, the gay and lesbian and transgender movements, all really are one and the same. These are all movements to respect people as individuals rather than as a body type that their genes determine for them.
I do things totally different, I'm sure, than most in the gay community. I believe that you can kill people with kindness. I would like to see the gay community reach out and build a bridge between themselves and the straight community, because we all have to be together. We have to live together, we have to work together, and we have to form a community together.
Everybody looks at us as a farm couple, yeah. It's a lot of hard work, and it's our life.
People don't ever expect that a white parent's can have a black child or vice versa.
I think it's a wonderful time we live in when the definition of the family is growing and expanding and changing. And my family may be my partner and my blue tick coonhound and my 2 cats and my 7 fish, but that's my family.
Fortunately, we're not youngsters, and so I trust her implicitly.
You know, you get to a certain age, you only have enough energy to do so much. And ours is generally spent in the community trying to make a difference.
I like to stress the point that this was really a validated love, and that I think that our story will help to make people aware that such a thing can happen.
Looking back at over 5 years of In the Life, perhaps what stands out most to us is the courage, compassion, and passion of the people we've met. Their willingness to tell their stories and voice their beliefs to a national television audience in a country still grappling with acceptance of homosexuality truly demonstrates a unique kind of commitment and bravery. We've been inspired by their insight, as well as by the help of our many In the Life supporters and volunteers. We'd also like to thank the nearly 100 public television stations that continue to carry this series. And from all of us at In the Life, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. If you'd like more information about In the Life, please call us at 1-800-627-ON-TV or visit our website at inthelifetv.org.
But alive,
but alive.
Still to come here at KPBS, see conversations with Liggett Tobacco Chairman Bennett LeBeau and Oscar-nominated film director Mike Lee. Just ahead on Monday's edition of Charlie Rose.
But alive, but alive. And though all we fought to win, I promise you we will win. If not tomorrow, then the day after that, or 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 the day after that.
To learn more about